It's Friday. Do you know what markets are headed higher? Hello, fellow traders everywhere. Adam Hewison here, co-founder of MarketClub, with your midday market update for Friday, the 24th of February. We have a bull market that's surprising everyone. We'll be looking at that today. What next for crude oil? We'll be looking at the crude oil market and our next major level for that strategic commodity. We'll also be looking at three stocks on the move: Salesforce.com, INTERPUBLIC Group, and Gap. We'll also be looking at other markets as well. But first, we're going to have a summit. Yeah, that's right, an investor summit in just outside of Salt Lake City in Utah on March 27th to the 30th. You're invited to come. We'd love to see you all be there, of course. And if you'd like to find out more, you can give us a call at 1-877-219-1482. That's extension 10234. That's 1-877-219-1482. If you're calling from overseas, it's 1-801-341-3981. So give us a call. We'd love to have you come out and join us. Seating is limited. It's only limited to 40 people, so we're filling up very fast. So if you have a thought, you want to improve your trading in 2012, come on out. We'll love to see you. So let's get started right away, and we're going to be going to our portfolio manager, and the first market we're looking at is the S&P 500 cash plus 100, of course. Bullish markets. This is what we're saying. This has really been a surprise to a lot of people, the fact this market has kept going and going and going and going. In fact, if we see the market close where it's going to close now, it'll be a new high close in quite some time, and I think that's the important thing to look at. If we go a little further out, not too far out, but you can see this is the previous high close, 1363.61. We're currently trading at 1368, so we're going to surpass that. Again, this has been a bull market that has surprised many, many people. We've been long, as we've said before, from 1292, and we've got some nice profits in a lot of stocks that we own based on our trade triangle technology. With our trade triangles at a plus 100, everything is a go in this market. So let's stay tuned to that one. And the Dow, pretty much the same thing, plus 100. Let's take a quick look at the Dow. And you can see very clearly when it comes up here that this market is really still basically acting very, very well. Now, this is a weekly chart, so we're higher for the week, but we go to a daily chart, you can see we've just sort of kept going and going and going and going. We've been long the Dow from 12,284. We're 13,000 now, over the magical 13,000, so that's almost 700 points ago. And again, this is when we got long. Nobody believed it, but this is what the trade triangles can do for you. Let's take a look at our next market. Of course, that's going to be the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ is plus 100. All the equity markets are plus 100, and this is the important thing to look at. So here we are. We're making new highs today. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat, but here we are, new highs today. We look at a weekly chart, and I'll be back tomorrow with a weekly update, but you can see we're at new highs for the week. We've had, this is our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 week in a row. We've been higher, which is kind of unusual. You don't usually get runs quite that long, but let's see how the markets react later on today. We may see some pullbacks, but the market seems to be very firmly bid. We've got a plus 100, again, very strong trends. Next market, silver. Now, silver has gone from being negative to being plus a 90. This is a bull market, and we are looking at the daily charts. The one concern we have, we talked about this yesterday, is this longer term. If we scope this out further, the longer term trend line that we have coming from these levels here just seems to just hit where we are now. So even though we have the monthly, we may see some backing and filling and then break through, because it would look as though it is going to break through based on our monthly trade triangle. So we're 35.32. The market's at 35.30 now. So right about where we had the signal you can get in if you're a longer term trader. So that's something we like to see. Gold pretty much is a little bit different. There's a plus 60, and that's a trading range. And as you can see, we get a little closer in on this. You can see we sort of popped up here, but the big level here is 1800. That's the key level to go through, and I'm not sure we're ready to go through that level just now. Our long-term trade triangle is still red. We have a mixed trading range, so you're going to trade accordingly. So you can see that we're in an overbought condition right here. So we may see a little bit backing and filling here, but generally speaking, I think that's the way to look at it. Most of the emphasis and the interest is being in other markets besides gold. Gold has not really moved that much, and it's very, very it's non-directional right now in the trading range. So let's go to our next market. And that's going to be copper. Copper, as you know, we've talked about copper being a reflection of the economy. That had a big day today, a big update today, I should say. We're plus 75, indicating that it's an emerging trend to the upside. And you can see if you look at this, let me just put our Fibonacci numbers in here. Now, the Fibonacci is a very useful tool to use in terms of seeing where markets are going to come back. And as you can see from here, and let me get my telestrator on here, you can see that we've had the pullback. And pullbacks in the Fibonacci zone tend to come back in waves of, let me just put this up here. Oops. Let's just take that off the screen. Let's just draw that back in again. And let's just take that off. So there we have that. So so what we're looking at is they tend to come back. There's a 50% retracement right here. And then you sort of see how this is rounding out, which is very nice. And it looks to me like you'll see another challenge. We are looking for this market to trade over 4, which would be right up here somewhere. So it looks as though the trend continues to be very positive just based on just what we're seeing right here. So I think that's the key thing to look at. Generally speaking, we like the way this market is going. We've got a longer term monthly in a positive. Our weekly and daily are negative, but the monthly, which is the longer one we look at, is in positive territory. So we're looking for this market to go higher. So let's go up and just clear the screen a little bit and go to our next market. And that's going to be, hang on, next market is crude oil. And this has been the big story in the marketplace. We've had a very strong move up here. You can see it's strong today, 108.87. If we look at a weekly chart, you can see more of the strength in this market, and there it is. And you remember last week we said if it closes over this level, 103.38, we want to be very bullish, and of course it's worked out very, very, very well for us. And we're now looking for this market to go, as we said, as we've illustrated several times, is basically you just draw a trend line across the top here. You can see the breakout. That's where we wanted to be long this market. That's the breakout right here. And we're looking for this market to at least initially get to these highs in this level right here. So that's where we think the market could go, at least in the short term. And I think that's the thing that we want to be most looking at. So looking here, we're seeing, I would say right around the 115 level be the first stop, but we're looking for the 125 level to be really, really take this market to much higher levels. So again, we're looking at the high there was 114. So that would be definitely 114.07. That would be definitely the first target zone. 110 maybe a psychological barrier, but I think that'll be blown through in the next few weeks. We're looking for a high in this market to come in somewhere in about another, let's say, I think we're looking at 4 to 6 weeks from here. So that's when we're looking for the high, 4 to 6 weeks moving that way. So we'll see if we get to our 125, 120 area in crude oil. If you haven't seen our special report on crude oil, which we put out last week before this big move, take a look at it. It's on our blog right now. So let's clear the screen, go to our next market. And the next market we're looking at is going to be the euro. And that's had a big move up there. This is a big, big, big move. It's almost a 1% move. It's 0.83%. That's huge in Forex. I mean, I can't emphasize how big a move that is in Forex. So let's just take a look, and you can see on a weekly basis, very strong close. You have to go all the way back to, gosh, it looks like you have to go all the way back to November of last year to be the same level. So it looks like it's made a turn. However, our monthly trade triangle is still negative from 139.69, and you can see it's 134.70. So, but generally speaking, I think any kind of sell-off in this market is going to be met with good support. I think a lot of people have got this wrong in terms of being bearish on the euro. We were bearish earlier, but if you look at our trade triangles, we basically came out of it right here at 130.74. So we don't hang around. When the markets move, you really don't have the luxury of just saying, oh, I think it's going to come back tomorrow, because that's the way you're going to lose money. It's just as simple as that. So let's go to our next market. The next market is going to be the dollar index, and you'll see it's just the inverse of the euro, and you can see the dollar coming down. If it closes down here, we had a Fibonacci level we want to look at, which was, let me just put that in for you, is right around the 77.38 level, which is about another full handle down, but I think that would be a natural stopping point. But you're going to have to do more than just 1 day's work or 1 week's work. It's going to take a little while longer. This is a weekly chart we're looking at, candlestick chart, very useful. You can see how we had the doji cross at the top and the confirming next week's signal. In Japanese candlestick terms, you need to have more than just one candle to confirm a signal. So that's what we looked at. So let's go to our next markets, and we've got some interesting markets. We're going to look at the Reuters Jefferies CRB index. This is something you want to pay close attention to. 124.83 is the last price. If we close over 125, this will be a new high close, but if we close over 125, which is the previous high we saw here, actually it's 124.99 was the high, but 325 is the number we're looking at. If we close over there, I think we're going to head much, much higher. So let's see how that plays out. Inflation looks to me like it's on its way, and if we're right, you're going to see this market potentially go much, much higher. So again, you could look at this many different ways, but I think certainly we'll be looking at this, the 350, 360 level up to 370. Where we go from there, that'll be another story. But generally speaking, you see how this market's basically crunching higher. And cyclically, you can see, if you look at this, we talked about cycles yesterday, but you can see again in terms of the cycles that we look at is if you go from here to here and then from here to here, it's pretty much the same distance, and then you'll go from here to here. So I think you'll go from here to these levels here. So I think that's going to be another projection in the future that's going to take us to higher levels, because you can see the swing point on here. It's pretty simple. You go from here to here, down to here, up to here, down to here, and now I think we're going to go up, back up to the highs here. So let's see how that plays out, but let's clear the screen and go to our next market, which is going to be some of the stocks we're looking at. And they are as follows. So let's go to the first one, which is Salesforce.com. It's having a good day today. It's up. And let's just take that off the screen and take the Fibonacci off and put our trade triangles on. And let's look at a daily chart. So if we get this closer in, look at the last 3 months. You can see here's today's action. We're up 9.7% so far during the day. And our trade triangle kicked in on this market today. So that's another big signal in this market. So the trend has changed. And if we go a little further out, you'll get a better idea. So there you have it. Big change. Got a lot of support under here, a big energy field. And that's what drives markets, in my opinion. If you can see this energy field that's just under the market, like right here, just building to go higher. And the breakout over this level here was really a very strong indication. So I think you could see from the 100 level, if you just round this out to very simple terms, 100 to, let's say, 135. That's 35. I think you could be looking at maybe the 170 level as a target zone. So I think that would not be out of the realm of possibilities in our work. So I think 170, I think that would definitely be a area that you could look at as an upside target for this Salesforce. Trend is your friend. Everything's a go based on our trade triangle. So let's clear the screen, go to our next market. And the next market we're looking at is going to be another stock, and that's going to be INTERPUBLIC Groups. So looking at this stock, you can see we've been long this stock from 10.50, and it's 11.35. Not a big move. Percentage-wise, it's actually pretty good. It's almost 10%, and it looks as though it's just beginning to move. Now, this market, if we get closer in, you can see we're up today. We're up almost 4%, so it's a very nice trend. You can see the trend just keeps going. plus 100 on the trade triangles. Always like to see that. So you've got a good trend, you plus 100. And if we scope this out, let's say 2 years, 1 year, you can see that we're not making 52-week highs, but we certainly are looking very good in the stock. Now, I want to show you a stock that is interesting. That's Gap. Now, Gap is down 3.25% today. And why am I showing you a stock that's not doing well? Well, I want to show you what we're looking at. If we look at the stock right now, we can see, okay, this is our buy point right here, 1968. The market's at 22.75. And the trend is up with our weekly, which came in 1982. Now, what we'd like to do here, I'll put the weeklies in. What we like to do is to get in the markets with our weeklies timing-wise, but use the monthly for trend. And we do this successfully. You can see the rules on our website. But so 1918, you're long, so you've got about $3, $3.50 profit, which is not bad considering. Now the market's pulled back, and let me cover this a little bit back. But you can see what's happening here. The market's pulled back, but it really hasn't changed the overall trend in this market. So you really want to wait for this market to give you some sort of sense of a buy signal. And that could be in the form of, if we just put our Fibonacci in. Let's take that off. Let's put it back in. If we put our Fibonacci, if it comes down here, so certainly, let's say at the 22 level would be a very good place to be perhaps buying. And maybe what you want to see also is some sort of consolidation. So it's just not going down. So I would say if you see today's action, certainly you're looking at as a potential doji right here with the action. But we may just see more of just like this, and then starting to go up again. So generally speaking, the trend is your friend, and looking at the trend, you have to say, well, this is a plus on the weekly, and the daily's a plus, the weekly's a plus, the monthly, and only the daily gives you a negative, but you still have an emerging trend, which is a plus 75. So the trend is your friend, and it looks like it's going higher in this case, my friends. So I'll be back tomorrow with Market Club, the weekend update, but there's still a lot to show you, and we'd love to have you come out, of course, to our summit in Salt Lake City. So give us a call, 877-219-1482. I think it'll surprise you what we have, and I think you'll enjoy. I certainly would enjoy meeting you and talking about the markets and explaining how I look at the markets and how I trade the markets. So give us a call, 1-877-219-1482. If you're calling from overseas, 1-801-341-3981, extension 10234. Hey, I look forward to seeing you in Salt Lake City. So I'll be back tomorrow with a weekend update. Adam Hewison for Market Club. Have a great day trading.